All right, what's up, guys? Hello, elite members. This is our first weekly webinar, and to really launch this whole weekly webinar series every single Sunday night. Hopefully, the next couple weeks are going to be a lot sooner than this. We just had some technical issues before, but to launch our first weekly webinar, we're going to be covering mainly the training portion of Forex. We're going to dissect the charts. We're going to break them down a little bit after. We're going to train a little bit, but first I really want you guys to all be set up and ready to go so we can beat the Forex markets every single day, every single week, right? So we have with us a couple of elite members who decided to hop on really late tonight. But first, I wanted to actually I want to pass the mic to my buddy Zevin, my partner Zevin, and I wanted him to cover a little bit about our website, our advanced training website, which is forexbillionaires.us. If you guys haven't already visited there and enter the passwords and stuff like that, it's a really cool website. And also talk about the emails and why emails are so important, because we're going to do a very special invitation process to have everybody look at some videos every single week through a little email newsletter. So, Zevin, if you want to take a couple minutes just to talk about that.
Yeah, so guys, really what I need from you guys is just your emails. Why we need your emails is because the videos on the forexbillionaires.us, they are private. We wanted to keep them private so that they're not getting out everywhere to the general public. Another reason why we need the emails is because we're going to have a newsletter. In the newsletter, we are going to be sending that once a week. It'll be videos from Steve Morrow, kind of explaining more and more in depth about the M patterns, the V patterns, the levels, just explaining it so that you guys can get a better grasp and concept of how the markets move and how we can trade alongside of the market makers. So those will be sent once a week again to your emails, and that's really all I have. I mean, emails that's it.
Important. Okay, how do you want everyone to send their emails and where?
If you guys can, I would like you guys to send them just straight into the Facebook, the elite member group, so then I can just add you guys and put you guys into the thing, so that when you guys actually get onto the forexbillionaires.us, you'll be able to watch all the videos and they aren't private for you.
Cool, awesome. Yeah, and let's just say I'm a newbie. I've never traded a day before. What's the first step? Where should I go? Should I go to the website? Should I check out the Forex Bible PDF file? Like, what's the first step?
Okay, the first step that a new elite member or basic program member should take is to take the time and read at least 10 pages of the Forex Billionaire Bible, Starter Bible, a day. You need to get through that to actually understand what we're talking about in the groups. There's lingo that comes with Forex, and if you don't read that stuff, you're not going to understand what we're saying. So the first step is to definitely check over and skim through the whole Forex Bible. Then the next step we want you to do is go through the basic program at m3teampage.com. You'll get the passwords if you ask us for that. And then from there, you can go on into the advanced training portion at forexbillionaires.us.com or .us and just go and watch those videos.
Cool. Awesome.
All in order, by the way. Watch them all in order. Do not skip from video to video. Watch them all in order so you can fully grasp the concepts.
Yeah, because if you skip, you're going to watch the super advanced video, then you're going to go back, and you're not going to know what it was talking about. Go to the first video. Oh, okay, that makes sense. And then hop around, and you're going to get lost. So I don't want you guys to waste any more time than you need to. So good information, dude. Thank you. Appreciate it. Really quick, guys, wanted to cover how important it is to get some journals. I know that's kind of dumb to say, but school is about to let out, or not let out, I wish. School's about to start, and so you can pick up a cheap journal from Walmart or Target or whatever like that for like 20 cents or 30 cents or even cheaper, I don't even know. But it's super, super important to get a training journal, and it's for your own benefit. It's not going to help me out. I'm just telling you from my own experience that if you open a training journal and every single night, every single day, just have 1 page per day or 2 pages a day, whatever, and just write down your thoughts about the markets that day whenever you're trading, even if you're not trading, just to write down your thoughts, okay? And like we're going to talk about at the very end of this video, how we're going to dissect some of the charts you can actually do that on your trading journal. So you can actually keep notes and go back to see, okay, what were they doing today, or how did the market look yesterday, the 2 days ago. You'll get a better feel for what the market's going to be like in the future days ahead. Okay. And on that same note, we're going to talk about goals. So a very important section, or even you can open a new journal for this, is to write down your goals. So it could be your goals for the day, your goals for the week, or your goals for the entire year. But there's also, I want to talk about levels of goals, and I have it written down here. So if you wanted to write that down on your first piece of paper, your levels of goals for trading in the Forex market, and also in our elite team, because we're not just any group, we're the elite team, is the first level of goals is what's going to be the number, the magic number, to get you to be able to be free from any bills. Okay, so the first level goal is free from bills, or not have to worry about any bills. Okay, so whatever number that is, it doesn't have to be a number. It could be also like a situation that you're in, where you're doing this, you're only working 2 days a week, you're going to school this amount of days, you could be making this amount a day, a week, a month, whatever it is. But whatever that answer is, you can write that down. Okay, so that's your first level. Your second level is what's going to get you to that level of self-sustainment. Okay, or another way to say it is not have to worry about other jobs. So if you're already working a job right now, if you like it, great. A lot of people, they don't like their jobs, so that second goal is what you should be looking at. So where do I need to be at in the Forex market, trading Forex, to be not able to worry about another job? Okay, so to be self-sustainable. And the third level of goals is financial security. So not just that, but also having savings and having money to play with, because what it's all about, having money to play with, having that freedom. So whatever that number is, whatever that environment, whatever that that place in your life is, write that down. Okay, so there's going to be different levels of goals to hit, and I want you to really keep track of your levels of goals, because if you just say I want to be a millionaire, that's a great goal, but at least for me, whenever I have a goal that high, my brain kind of tends to see that high goal and get discouraged because it's so high. You know, it's just from level 1 to level 100. And instead of having that big leap to that level 100, you want to have little steps along the way, so that whenever you hit that next goal, check mark, your brain gets that boost of energy, and you're going to be able to hit that next goal, and the next one, the next goal, until you're able to hit that 100th goal of I want to be a millionaire. All right. So goals are super important, and also another thing to talk about is your why. So why you're actually doing this, why you're actually trading Forex. It's a very, very important topic to discuss and also to keep track of. So if you haven't already written down your why, I don't know why you haven't, but definitely write down your why. Okay, so why are you actually doing this? Okay, so not just your goals like, oh, I want to be selfish, I want to make a lot of money, but why are you wanting to make a lot of money? If that is your goal, to make a lot of money, why do you want to make a lot of money? Is it for yourself? Is it for your family? Is it for your kids, if you have kids? Is it for other people? Like, what did you want to do in life? What is your passion in life? Okay, because I strongly back up complete and total freedom. Okay, I don't know if you follow me on Facebook or Snapchat or whatever like that, but I'm all about having not just financial freedom, but just complete freedom, whatever it is. And that's, you know, not being held back from a boss, from a job, from literally anything. That's just me doing whatever I want, and that's basically just what's your passion in life. So my passion in life is to travel, to help other people financially, to just live life, okay, to see life, and not just be behind a desk. So whatever your why is, whatever your passion is, write that down, but don't just write it down and throw it away, but also just keep hold of it and remind yourself every single day. Okay, so whenever you're trading with us, with the group, maybe you can even remind other people about your passion and your why, and keep each other accountable. That's why we have this group chat. That's why we have this team, to have a team behind you helping every step of the way. All right. So really quick, I didn't want to get too personal, but I wanted to help you guys set up your MetaTrader 4 account. So I don't know if you guys have or not. I don't know if you just kept the demo settings, but it looks kind of crappy, the whole green and white, and makes your eyes hurt and bleed. So instead of doing that, I wanted to give you guys just the setup that I have on my account. So if you guys wanted to, I'm going to share my screen, and you could check out my MetaTrader 4 account to see exactly how I have it set up. If you wanted to copy it exactly how it is, you can do that. No hard feelings at all. I would actually really appreciate that. So whenever you guys post screenshots of your trades or questions about trends or whatever like that, I would be really happy and my eyes won't bleed. So let me share my screen really quick. And guys, if y'all don't mind, just let me know if you can see it.
Yeah.
Okay, you can see it. So whenever you open up MetaTrader 4, this can be on your computer or on your phone, on your app, you're going to go to settings, okay? And actually this is under properties on the computer. Then you go over to colors. And you guys can pause this video right now to keep this whole color scheme set up, or you can just write it down really quick. I'll just stay on the screen for a little bit. But again, whenever you download MetaTrader 4 first, it gives you a really trashy black and green and white, and again, it just hurts your eyes. So whenever you have this set up, it really helps you visualize not just the market, but also the overall trend of the market. At least, again, my opinion. So I'll keep it on here for a little bit longer. Let's see. And also, if you guys want to, you can go over to the Common tab, and you can uncheck Show Gray. Okay. So whenever you click Show Grid, obviously it's the grid, and you guys can keep it if you want. But me personally, I feel like it's a lot better, again, to see the overall trend of the market without the grid, just less lines, because the more trend lines, the more horizontal and support resistance lines that you put on your chart, we're going to talk about that in a little bit, the crazier your market is going to look, or sorry, the crazier your chart's going to look. So to keep it as clean as possible, I just like to uncheck that grid. All right, but next, I'm going to teach you guys a little bit about the indicators, the more advanced indicators that I like to use a lot just because it helps me visualize the market and see where the trend of the market is going. And that's with a couple indicators. That's with trend lines, that's with horizontal support and resistance, and that's with Fibonacci's, okay, or Fibonacci's, whatever you guys like to call it. Of course, there are a million indicators out there, Bollinger Bands, signals like M's and W's, and stop hunt low rise, stop hunt high drop, a bunch of different things. And I definitely don't have the time to cover every single one. I want to make this video as short as possible, but the trend lines, support and resistance, and Fibonacci's are three great tools to help you guys understand the market and where it's going. Okay, so really quick, we're on the Euro USD 15-minute chart. And I'm going to go cover trend lines really quick. Trend lines is this tool right here. You just click on this diagonal line, and you're going to have a cursor like this. You're going to click on the map, you're going to click on the chart anywhere you want, and it's going to have a little line like this. You want to double click this, right click, and go to trend line properties. Okay, in trend line properties, this ray should be checked already automatically. You just want to uncheck it. Okay, so just like this, you can click OK. So now you're going to be able to move your ray wherever you want to. Okay, so again, you can just delete that. I'm going to form another trend. So the importance about the trend line is that it shows you a pretty distinct direction of where the market's going. And this can be on the day chart, this can be on the 4-hour, this can be on the 1-hour, this can be on the 15-minute, whatever you guys really want to. It doesn't hurt to place a trend line on the 15-minute. It doesn't hurt to place it on the day 1 chart or the 1-day chart. So whatever you guys feel most comfortable with, I would just tell you guys to practice on every single chart. And whatever you guys feel like you're best at creating these trend lines for, then do that. Okay. But first off, I would start with the biggest one, which is the daily chart. Okay, so that's exactly what I'm going to do right now. I click on the 1 day, and it shot me back to 2007. That was kind of weird. So let me just scroll up. And after we initially mark up the daily chart, we're going to move down to the 4-hour, to the 1-hour, to the 15-minute. Me personally, I like to stick with those three: 4-hour, 1-hour, and the 15-minute. The 15-minute is for trading because I don't like to swing trade. I don't like to hold trades on for days and days and days. I like to know exactly where my trade is, and so I like to scout. And that's just, again, personal preference. The 1 hour, I like to see the levels in the market. So if it's a level 1, a level 2, or level 3. And I also like the 4 hour because it's great for patterns and signals. So the M's are extremely clear in the 4 hour. The W's are extremely clear in the 4 hour. And we're actually going to check out the 4 hour in the Euro USD because there's a pretty nice M forming right now. So really quick, guys, I wanted to show y'all a trend line, just an example of a trend line. So let me do a quick demonstration for you guys. Let's see if that's a good one. Oh yeah, it's a really, really good one. So a trend line, when it's most beneficial is whenever you connect it from the top of a candle wick. And again, a definition of a trend is whenever 2 or more candlesticks are hitting that trend line, sorry. Okay, obviously, just 2 candlesticks is not going to be a very strong trend. If you have 3, it's going to be a lot stronger than 2. If you have 5, it's going to be a lot stronger than 3, and so on and so forth. So if you guys have 100 candlesticks that are all touching and that are all matching that trend line, it's going to be a very, very strong trend line. So you guys know exactly what's going to happen. And hopefully you guys already know from the screenshots that I shared with the group. Whenever I send the pictures of the chart with the trend lines, I tell you guys, hey, if it breaks, look for it to skyrocket in that direction. If it holds, if it retests and it holds, make sure to trade in that direction. Okay, so for this example, this trend is a pretty bearish trend. Okay, it's all below the market. You see that it drops, it tries to retest, and it drops again. It tries to retest again. This is the daily chart, and it drops again. All right. So guess what happens whenever it breaks? It shoots back up. Okay, and we know that as elite members, that as soon as it broke, we could have traded. And again, this is a daily trade. I don't really like to trade days, but if you're a swing trader, you could have placed a buy right here, and you could have closed out of your trade anywhere right here. Okay.
So would that be considered the first V after the W, right?
Yes, yes. You can see that's the first V. Yeah, that's a good eye because we have a huge M right here.
Mm-hmm.
We have a pretty strong V. And again, wait, was that Mike? I don't have my screen open. Was that you?
Yeah, that was.
Okay. To be honest, I don't really like to trade the day one. Again, I like to stick with 4 hour, 1 hour, and 15 minute, just because these V's, these W's are taking days to form, weeks to form. And I don't really like to keep my trades for that long. There's people out there that they like to trade, that keep their trades for weeks, and they pull out with, great results. But I like to be very precise with my trades.
Yeah, I think I'm the same way. I was just asking to verify, I guess.
Yeah, definitely, man. You could definitely consider this as the first V after the W, for sure.
Okay, cool.
Let's go to the 4 hour because the 4 hour, I don't, what the heck? For the 4 hour chart, you're going to see a pretty nice M forming on the 4 hour chart. And I don't know if you guys caught this since last week whenever I told you guys there's an M forming on Thursday night, but you can also place a sell right here, just because we know that an M and a W is a great signal for a reversal happening in the market. Okay, so let's do a trend line right there just to give you guys a quick example. Okay, so that's just a really short but quick and precise example of a trend line. Again, this is 4 hours, so every candle in the market represents 4 hours in the Euro USD. But whenever you guys see a break in that trend line, we know to either close out of that sell, or you can place a buy because we know it's going to rise. Okay, it could rise for a 1 4 hour candle. It could rise for several 4 hour candles. To be honest, it really depends on a lot of different variables. But for us, and I don't really like to catch the breaks that much. If I see this right here, and I see 4 candles that are very strong, I know that this trend line is very strong. I like to just keep this trade, just because, again, whenever it breaks this trend line, it could rise for a little bit, it could rise for days, it could rise for weeks, and again, there's a lot of variables to consider whenever that happens. So it's really tough to decide. At least for me it is. So I like to stick with my actual trend trade. All right. So that's that. I'm going to call out that trade actually in the group chat tonight, so y'all watch out for that. But yeah, anyways, just to cover that again, we do all of our analysis on the 4-hour, the 1-hour, and the 15-minute. I know some traders that trade on the 1-minute or the 5-minute, and to me, it's just overanalyzing. Just because with the 4-hour, the 1-hour, and the 15-minute, we're going to get all of our answers from those 3 charts, from those 3 time charts. Okay, the 15-minute, like I said, I love to trade on the 15-minute. I love to, post my trend lines in there, my fibs, my horizontal support and resistance, all that good stuff in there, and make it as dirty as possible. Of course, the more indicators, the better. The 1-hour, great for levels, great for spotting the levels, and the 4-hour are great for, obviously, M's and W's. Okay. Next, we're going to talk about the horizontal support and resistance. Those are great indicators to look for reversals. Okay, and also another good thing for trend lines too, but the main purpose behind the horizontal support and resistance are for reversals. So just like M's and W's are great for reversal signal patterns, same for the support and resistance. So you want to place a horizontal support and resistance, which by the way, the button is going to be at your top left, right next to the trend line. It's going to be a flat line just like this. You're going to place it on the top of the candle and not the wick. I hope you guys know the difference between the two. The candle is actually the candlestick, and the wick is just the retracement of that candle. Okay, so the wick is usually on the ends of the candle. All right, those long, thin lines, and the candle is actually going to be the meat and potatoes of that candlestick. Okay, you want to place them on the actual candle. Okay, so this would be an example of a horizontal support and resistance on these 2 candles, and not right here. Okay, because we don't really like to care about the wick, because the wick really doesn't matter about the price of the market. Because if it retraced back down from here all the way down to here, this is where it actually painted on the market. Okay, so that's what we actually care about. So to give you guys an example of a horizontal support and resistance, let me just look for you guys really quick, see if I see anything. I think I do.
I have a quick question. So like when you're on like the day 1 chart and you draw a horizontal line, do you like actually go in and like mark that it's a 1-day chart that line came from? Does that make sense?
Oh, does it actually mark that it's from a 1-day?
Like, would you go in and say like, okay, like this is a 1-day, so this is gonna have more support / resistance because it's a 1-day? Is that kind of how it works? Like the higher the chart, the more support.
I don't do that. I know some people that do, and quite frankly, I really wouldn't know how to, just because there's not really a tool that we can mark up the chart like with like a pen or a pencil kind of thing, and it doesn't really indicate it like on these pip values. But to answer your question about if there's a stronger resistance or a stronger support on the day 1 rather than the 15-minute, it really depends, bro, because on the day 1, let's just say that these 2 candles, let's just say this mark is a day 1, and I were to place my trend right here, yes, it's touching these 2 candles, but I can have a 15-minute, and it could be something like this, where it passes this trend line right here, it jumps up for, let's say we're looking at the 4-hour, jumps up for weeks, it retests it, jumps back up, retests it again. Okay, we know that it's either going to break and drop, or retest, rise again, and we can buy it. That's exactly what it does. Okay. So even on this 4-hour, it's a very, very strong support. So I feel like it's strong in any chart that you look at, as long as the candles are there. The more candles that really touch that trend line, support, resistance, doesn't have to be a trend line, the stronger it is.
Okay.
See, and it goes back here too. Breaks this trend line, goes under for several days. it comes back up and retests, it breaks. So we know exactly what's going to happen. All right, so that's a very good example of a horizontal support and resistance line. Again, whenever a market is above a horizontal line, this line indicates support. And whenever the market is below this line is acting as resistance. Okay, because it's resisting this market to penetrate this line. Whenever it's hitting this line, it's supporting this level. Okay, so I'm just going to keep that there. Again, like I said, look for multiple candles where prices are rejected. That's where you can practice placing your horizontal support and resistance lines. Okay, and guys, whenever you guys are watching this, whether it's tonight or tomorrow, I really want you to practice these few indicators. Okay, I really want you guys to mark up your charts as much as possible. I don't want you guys to dirty it up and place really random trend lines wherever and make a smiley face, but I really want you guys to dissect and analyze the charts, because that's what we consider our homework. Like we don't have to read a textbook. We don't have to study these dumb professors talking in very monotone voices, but to do our homework is just by marking up the charts, dissecting the charts, and seeing exactly what the market makers were doing the past couple of days, or you can even go as far as the past week or two. So you get a better understanding of what exactly is happening in the market that second, today, So you can not just see what is happening then, you'll get a better understanding for it. You'll get, of course, more knowledge from dissecting the markets, but you also get a better understanding of what's going to happen in the upcoming days and the upcoming weeks. And that's exactly what we're going to do after this short little training session, okay? Lastly, I'm going to talk about the Fibonacci's, okay? So the Fibonacci's are a great tool to help you guys, again, not just with support and resistance, but also to help you analyze the reversals as well, okay? So we're going to enter the chart. Fibs is this tool right next to trend line and right next to horizontal line. It's going to be an F with the dotted lines across it. And you only want to place your fibs on a 4-hour chart. Okay, so really quick, I'm just going to do this nice and easy. I'm going to double click the dotted line to show you guys. Click on Fib Properties, and you want to choose a style with a black color. Okay, and you're just going to click OK, because I think naturally comes, I think it was red, and with red, there's going to be too many red lines. Your trend lines are going to mix and match with the fibs, and you don't want that. But the whole importance of a fib is to take your fib and place it at the very lowest of the low to the highest of the high. And what do I mean by that? So whenever you choose any 4-hour chart, it doesn't have to be your USD, but any chart, a 4-hour, you want to connect to the wicks and not the candles, okay? So the horizontal support and resistance, you're connecting the candles. With fibs, you connect the wicks. Okay, so you want to go from the lowest low to the highest high. So you want to look for the last biggest move in the market. I don't think that made sense. The last largest move in the market. Okay, so for example, yeah, actually I had that right. For example, we're going to go to the last largest move, which is, I believe it's this rise right here. And we're going to go again from the wicks and not the candles. Okay, and you're going to see at the right of the screen, there's going to be a bunch of numbers: 0, 23.6, 38.2, 50, 61.8, and 100. Okay, the only thing you need to know about fibs are these two numbers right here, the 38.2 fib and the 61.8, or I like to call it the 62 to make it easier. 62 fib and the 38.2 fib. Okay, and those two are the strongest fibs to look out for retracements, okay, and pullbacks in the market. So we can see right now that the M is getting really close to the 38.2. So that means that it can do one of two things. It could either hit this 38.2 and it could pull back a little bit. We know that it's forming a very pretty M, so we know that it's eventually going to drop some more, but it could pull back a little bit, or it could continue to drop. And I'm pretty sure it's going to hit this 62 fib, and we're going to see again what happens after that. Okay, and we can do this again for pretty much any chart for any of the last major moves. Okay, and this isn't just any small move like this right here, or this little rise right here. We're looking for the last major move. Okay, so we're going to go to the USD JAPI, again, 4-hour chart. And the last major move, that's a bad example. Look at the Australian dollar. Oh, I don't like that example either. Let's go to GBP. All right, GBP, I don't know how well this would be, but I'm just giving you guys an example here. So we're going to go again, the lowest low to the highest high. And we're going to see here that, again, we're looking at the 32 and the 62. Obviously, this market is not going to go down for a little bit. Actually, I'm going to call it out on the trade tonight that I think is going to continue to rise one more level before it drops. But whenever it does drop, we're expecting to see it hit the 38.2 fib. Okay, and again, 32 and the 62, the 38 and 62 are looking for retracements, reversals. And if not, whenever it holds, we look for it continue to drop or continue to rise in whatever example that you're looking for. Okay, those three indicators are huge to help you guys understand what the market is doing. Okay, yes, there are signals and patterns. Yes, there's other indicators that we really don't even have the time to cover. But those three are very important to help you guys understand what the market is doing. Okay? Did you guys on the call, y'all have any questions over those three?
I don't.
Okay. Cool.
I have one.
Yeah, for sure, man.
You said the fib goes on the lowest low and the highest high. So wouldn't it be like up there on the wig, like in the middle, where it's the highest?
We're looking for the last major move in the market, and this is honestly a bad example because if we were to go back a couple weeks ago on gold, I remember gold had one of the biggest drops in years, and actually Zevin and I caught that. But in this example, it's a pretty poor example, but I would consider this to be the last major move. You know, again, we're not looking for, okay, the largest market move, because honestly, if we could just go back and we can find one that's 10 times larger, but we're just looking for the last major one. Okay. And again, like I was telling you guys before we went live, that looking at the Forex market is like looking at a piece of art, right? So whenever we're looking at a painting by Picasso, I can see something that is maybe completely different than what you might be looking at, right? But that doesn't mean that neither of us are wrong. It just means that we have different visions of what we're looking at. You know, we could take it a completely different way, and that's exactly how the foreign exchange market is. Okay, it's just a talent of seeing whatever you see in the market. Okay, I see technically this, even though it's a bad example, as the last major move in the market. You could see this right here as the last major move in the market. Okay, whatever helps you understand what's going to happen next, because that's really our job. Our job title is to understand what's going to be the next move in the market, to really trade alongside the market makers. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you know, to whatever statement that you consider that under, understand that that's the only job title that we have. We can trade pennies, we can trade dollars, we can trade $1 million lots, but our job title, and really the thing that I'm most excited about this, is that understanding the knowledge to see what's going to happen next in the foreign exchange market, you cannot put a price tag on that, because that is a ticket to freedom. Again, you know, we can trade dollars, we can make $100 a day, $1,000 a day, $1 million a day. That's all depending on our lot size and how comfortable we are risking. But at the end of the day, if you understand what's going to happen next, you're going to be a happy camper. You know, you're going to be a successful trader. That's it. And so if that's by using these indicators I just taught you guys, if that's by seeing the market a completely different way than I see it, that's okay. But as long as that helps you see what's going to happen next. All right, so that group chat, you know, whenever I post my call out trades to the group chat, I'm showing you guys what I see in the market. So if you guys have a completely different view, it's okay to say, hey, I see this. I think it's going to rise. I think it's going to drop. Honestly, I'm just a beginner. I've just been doing this for a couple of months. Yes, I've had a lot of help along the way. I've had some pretty awesome mentors, but I'm wrong a lot of the time. I'm not saying that I'm perfect whatsoever. So I really want you guys to be as interactive as possible. That's why I'm telling every single one of you guys to, if you have any questions, shoot them through the group chat. Don't be shy about it, because the more that you ask questions, that just means the more that you're learning, the faster that you're going to learn, and the better that you're going to understand this material in the long run. So the more that you interact with the group, with the team, the better it's going to be for you guys, for sure. Really quick. Okay, so that was pretty much it. I wanted to cover the free trial along with some questions. And then after the questions, we can dissect a couple charts before we end this call, okay? So let me just share my screen really quick. All right. So if you guys didn't already know, we are starting a free trial membership for our elite team, and that's going on for at least the next couple of weeks. And the reason why we're doing that is just to help with the group, and because I really want to hit our 50-person limit as fast as possible, but with the right people. I don't want to just get any person that would just take a spot in the group and not really appreciate it. I want the right people who need it the most, but also want to take massive action along with everyone else inside the group and really try it. So that's exactly what we're doing. We're giving people the option to see what's going on in our elite team from an insider's point of view. So we're offering the free trial membership starting again every Sunday for the next couple of weeks until Friday, whenever the markets close in the evening time for us. And they're going to get full access to our 24/7 chat room. Okay, so again, the main reason behind it is to help you guys. If you have any friends, prospects, cousins, relatives, neighbors, coworkers who want to learn Forex and also want to make a killing in the market, to just send me a message on Facebook, add me first, and because sometimes it goes to my other folder, and you know how Facebook is, I don't get messages, or I don't get notifications whenever they send me messages through my other folder, but to send me a message after they add me as a friend, and we can add them to our group chat from Sunday until Friday. They're going to get full access to all the call-out trades. They can ask any questions. They can be as interactive as possible, or nothing if they really choose to, but to see it from an insider's point of view. So if they like what they see, which by the end of the week, hopefully they do, they'll want to join, and that would be better for you because they're your prospects, and you'll get commissions for that as well. Okay. So if you have any questions over the free trial membership, let me know. Also, we're doing a friendly competition. We just started that a couple of days ago, where whoever brings the most trial members per week will get a $50 prize every single week. And the minimum is 10 free trial members every single session, every single Sunday to Friday session. So you can't just like win the competition with like 2 or 3 people. So at least 10. And if you're the highest, on Friday I'm gonna pay you $50 every single Friday. So friendly competition, just because we all like to be competitive in a friendly manner because we're all family. But that's pretty much it. So if you guys have any questions over that, send me a message through Facebook, and I can answer them. Yep. That's pretty much it, guys. Did y'all have any questions covering what I taught you, or anything that you've been holding back that you don't understand about Forex?
Would you want to show the entry really quick?
Yes.
Like entry into a trade. Could you do that for me?
You had a question about how and when to enter the market and how to close your trade, right?
Yeah, more over just like when the trade is like not guaranteed, but you know, like when I know to look for like railroad tracks and the hammer, but I'm still unsure like when you actually enter the trade. Do you enter trade on the hammer, or do you wait for like the next candle to form and then enter the trade?
I like to enter a trade after I have confirmation, just because, again, that's just another indicator to help me. Yeah, so, you know, one of our rules is we don't gamble. We don't lose money, all right? Our, you know, elite members, we don't lose money. We just make money. And one of the great ways to keep that is to wait for several confirmations or indicators. And one of the confirmations I like is to wait one 15-minute candle. If it goes my direction, okay, then I'll enter that trade. You know, or if it doesn't, then I'll hold out. I won't trade. I won't trade that session. I won't trade that day. You know, a lot of people they're trading every single day, and that's completely okay. You know, I am calling out trades every single day, not necessarily meaning that I'm taking those trades every single day, but one thing that I learned from one of my mentors, and it was super, super important, is don't trade every single day. Just because if you do, you start to get a little greedy. You start to see things that really aren't there in the market. You know, like Zed and I were talking about, you know, if you see a WVVM pattern and you're trading every single day and you're getting greedy, you really want to make some more and more and more and more money, you're starting to see V's everywhere. And in order to prevent that, because you might, in the long run, lose some money like that. Start seeing signals, start seeing patterns, start seeing indicators that aren't really there just because you want to enter that trade today, just because you want to make some money today, which isn't a good reason behind it. So, you know, trading really isn't for everyone. It's for the strong-willed, for the strong mindset person. And so that's why I like to keep trades for really just a couple of days. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday nights. I really like to trade those days. If there are trades that do happen to appear on Sundays and Mondays, I'll take them. I'm not saying I won't, but I like to keep it to a few days a week just to help with that. Because knowing myself, I really like money. Not because I like materialistic things, just because I have some big dreams, I have some big targets to hit, and I know that I'm going to hit them. I know that we're going to hit them. And one of the things to help with that is to not trade every single day, just because I know that if I do, I'm going to see things that aren't really there just because I really want to make some more money, and I'm going to lose some money like that. I've had a lot of friends that have gone through that hole, and they tell me it's not fun. So, but to answer your question about exactly when to enter a trade, I'm just going to do this really quick. Let's just say, for example, that this was a nice trend line, right? Like right there, it really isn't, but this is just an example. If it were to break down right here on this candle, I would wait to make sure that this candle is going this direction. And if it's dropping, then I would place a sell. Okay? But in this very, very bad example, it rose. So in this example, I wouldn't. But let me find a better example of where the trend line would have helped pretty nicely. Yeah, we can do this. We can do this. Okay, so again, bearish movement, GBP USD, and this was back on the 13th of August, so a couple days ago. And whenever it broke this trend line, I would have entered this trade right here. Okay, so initially, I would have lost some money, which to me, that's okay. Because to me, you know, I'm the kind of trader that will hold it until I'm at least at profit, or if I did a horrible mistake, I'll close out with negatives, but usually I tend to stay away from that. I don't really like to close out trades whenever I'm just in the negatives right away, just because I could potentially lose a lot of money, which in this case, that could have happened. So I held out this trade, went positive, and you could have closed out right over here.
Okay.
You know,
And then
and
what is your average lot size, if I may ask?
my lot size, right now, it's 0.3. 0.3
Okay.
or 0.4. Actually, no, average is 0.3. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And
So,
another
how do
question
you
for... Oh, yeah, go
how,
for it. Go for it.
how do you change your lot size? I was trying to.
Oh, dude, that's easy. Right here, whenever you click on New Order, this is just my demo count, guys, just because I like to mark up my demo count for you guys. Whenever you click on volume, or I think on the app it says lot size, you can just enter right here, 0.3, you can do 0.01, you can do 0.05. On your phone, it's under trade, under new trade. You're going to, let me just open up my phone really quick, give you exact instructions. Open up new trade. Under instant execution, there's going to have a row of numbers, negative 0.1, negative 0.01. The actual lot size, there's going to be positive 0.01 and positive 0.1. So what that means is the middle number is going to be your lot size, right? So if you don't like that number, you can change it by going down, pressing the left two buttons, or raise it by pressing the right two buttons. And obviously, negative 0.1 means you're lowering your lot size by 0.1, or minus 0.01, you're minusing it by minus 0.01.
Mine's at 0.41. Is that high or low? Or...
Yours at what?
0.41.
0.41. That is well, it depends because you're trading demo, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good question. So what should your lot size be? For demo users, I really highly advise you to treat your demo like your live market, like your live account, okay? So depending on what you're opening your account with, because there's some people in here that are going to open their account with a couple $100. There's some that are going to start up with a couple $1,000. So it really depends on what you open it up with. I don't know why I'm sharing my screen. I want to talk to you face to face. Whenever you open up your live account, only you know what you're going to open it up with. So if it is $100, then you want to keep your lot sizes down to pennies, because you really want to keep in mind your risk management whenever you trade. You don't want to risk half of what you have in your live account, no matter how confident you are in the market, no matter how well you are at indicating the trend lines, the horizontal support and resistance, the M's, the W's, all that good stuff. You really want to keep in mind risk management, okay? And again, that's going to be up to you. There's no magic number that says risking 5%, risking 10%, risking 1% is the right answer. It's going to be up to you. And that could just be how well you know the stuff. For me, I like to risk, I don't really know the number, but I like to risk a little bit. I really like to risk a little bit. It could be 0.1, it could be 0.2, it could be 0.3. My average right now is about 0.3, but I can tell you whenever I opened up my live account with $100, I was doing pennies. That's just because no matter, even if I knew the stuff like the back of my hand, I only had $100. So I only had so much to play with. So you really need to consider that. You know, if you only have $100 or if you only have $500, keep in mind that you only have a limited amount to play with. Even if you have a high leverage, you only have a little bit to play with. Once we're in the 6 figures, once we're in the 7 figures, then we can, you know, start to revamp up to the $5 lots and the $10 lots and crazy lots like that. But right now, the hardest part is to slowly and patiently build up our live accounts. And that's by keeping in mind your risk management. Of course, there's confidence level. Of course, there's ego. Of course, those guys, we have egos. That's how much we have in our account. That's how well you know the stuff, how well, you know, how knowledgeable you are about the indicators and signals and patterns, stuff like that. So that's going to be up to you. You know, I can't tell you how much to risk, but yeah, 0.41 is pretty high for beginner, I should say. For beginner, I stuck with pennies for a little bit, and then I eventually went up to 0.05. I eventually went up to 0.1, and for me, this stuff really clicks to me. It could be the same for you, and so I moved up fairly quickly, a little bit faster than normal. But it's not bad if you're sticking with pennies for weeks and weeks and weeks. That just means that you're knowing this information like the back of your hand. You know, you could be super confident, but you just don't want to lose anything. You don't want to lose any money. That's completely okay too. I hate losing money. So that's going to be the way how you trade. And that's another good point to bring up, that even though I'm telling you what to do, or I'm telling you what indicators to use and what to look for, I want you guys to utilize your own pizzazz, put your own style into your own trading so that you make it personal. Okay, and what I mean by that is, you know, I can tell you guys what to do. You know, whenever I'm looking at a trade, I call out the trade on the group, or, you know, look at this trend line. If it breaks, look for the drop. If it holds, look for the long play. But at the end of the day, I want you guys to take what you learn, not just from Steve Morrow, not just from the third top trader in the world, not just from our advanced training website, not just from everything like that, but to personalize it. Whatever clicks with you, I don't want to say like major in that, because that's too schoolish. I don't really like school, but major in whatever you're most comfortable with. Whatever clicks with you, put that as your focus and really define it and perfect it, so that you're going to be a beast at whatever that is. If it's spotting N's and W's, WVMs, MAAWs, perfect that skill, and you'll have that skill for the rest of your life. And I promise you, it's going to be for your benefit in the long run. You know, or if it's indicators, you know, or if it's just looking at the market without any indicator saying, oh, I think it's going to rise, oh, I think it's going to drop. If that's what you're really good at, and if it works for you, perfect that skill and personalize it to however you trade. Hold it for days, hold it for seconds, whatever your style of trading is, and perfect it. It doesn't have to be following my style. It doesn't have to be following Zevin's style or Mike's style. It could be something completely different, and that's going to be okay. That's what's so great about this, that we can do this completely on our own, individualize it, personalize it, and we'd be millionaires. There's no one thing that we need to follow. All right? But again, whatever works for you, utilize it, perfect it, personalize it, and duplicate it. Do it over and over again. Take massive action on that. All right? Really quick, guys. Sorry, I didn't want to make this too long, so let me go back, share my screen. We'll dissect a couple of markets, and then we'll call it a night. How about that? Let's see here. Euro US dollar, guys, you already know what's going to happen. We're going to throw this trend line down right there. We can see a perfect, beautiful Pablo Picasso M forming right there. If you guys don't know what an M is, it's a very good, strong signal for a reversal, and especially because it's on the 4-hour chart, it's a very strong signal, and there's a very strong trend line that connects 4 candles. So even if one candle on the 4-hour chart breaks, I would still go long just because I know that it's an M forming, and I know there's going to be a reversal in the market. So sometimes market makers do like to trick traders into maybe pushing one candle up so that a lot of retail traders close out their trades and then they continue to drop, or whatever it may be. But I do believe that it's still going to continue to drop at least for the next day. At least for the next day. Probably for a little bit longer. Okay? So that's my play for Euro USD. Let me go to the 15-minute just to make sure. I really don't know. I need to change that setting. It just shoots me back like weeks ago.
Now, would you wait for London to enter the trade?
Ooh, that's a good question. Okay, so
They
this
will
is
throw a stop on high, correct? Then, if it's going to continue down, they're most likely going to throw a stop on high.
Yes. At London session, I already checked the red folders, and there's no red folders for Euro USD tonight, but they probably will throw a stop on high, and I would probably catch it at the high for the next drop. Just because for me, I kind of held this trade for a little while, so I think I caught this one like right here.
Really nice.
And I've continued to hold it just because I know exactly where it's going to go. I know it's going to continue to drop for at least the next day. So even though I tell you guys I'm not a big swing trader, I'm really not, but very, very few examples like the gold trade a couple weeks ago and like this pretty nice M forming right here in the euro, I just like to hold it just because I know exactly where it's going. But the 15-minute, let me delete this. You guys see I drew this short little trend line. It wasn't that strong. It broke it and it went to consolidation. And Mike, just like you said, it's going to move probably in the London session. So 3:30 Eastern time. For me, it's 2:30. I live here in Texas. Who goes first? Let's see here. GBP USD. Consolidation, like I showed you. Oh, this is the trade I showed you guys in the group chat. So right now, it's a very nice tidal wave consolidation in between these two supports and resistance. Let's see. It's 0.156544 and 1.56410. If you guys want to write that down. But I do believe it's going to move at the London session. My best guess, if I can call it right now, I think it's going to rise one level more, but then it could drop. So just like always, guys, if it breaks this trend line, look for the rise. If it breaks this trend line here, the support line, look for the drop. Okay, it might pull a three move. I don't really know the name of it. I can kind of just make that up right now, but it's going to shoot up, go back down to retest it, and then it's going to rise, the major rise. Okay, same thing for the drop too. If it does break support, look for the drop, the initial drop, come back to retest, and the final drop, the major drop. Okay, but I think it's going to rise one more time. I'm not too sure. And Zevin, you might be right. I think it might drop. I think it might rise. It's just kind of too early for me. I think we're going to have to wait until London, so a couple more hours. All right, let's see here. AUD USD, let's see here, 4-hour chart. We're looking at a couple of weeks ago. Okay, so we see a M forming right here. Obviously, it wasn't that strong because we're looking at it now, and it didn't drop that much. There was no 3 levels whatsoever. It was just kind of one staggered drop. But we do see a huge retest very rapidly, just 3-4-hour candles, and back into consolidation. But in the 15-minute, which is what I like to trade, and again, I need to scroll back to China to see it. Which, by the way, guys, if you don't have these currency pairs already listed in your app and your computer, whatever it is, at least get these: Euro USD, GBP USD, the yen, the Swiss franc, the Australian dollar, the New Zealand dollar, the Canadian dollar, gold, which is XAU USD, or GBP JPY. All right, so Australian dollar, 15-minute. Ooh, I see this right here, and I don't like this whatsoever, just because it is just confusion. It is just market makers tricking retail traders, just stealing money. That's exactly what this is. It's just stealing money. So I really don't like this, but it kind of cleared up a little bit. I don't know when I formed this, but I formed a not so great trend line just because it only holds a little bit. It does break this trend line, and it does rise a little bit, so you could have caught that in a scalp. But again, that wasn't that strong. Let's see what we can see here. Let me just mark this up a little bit. That's not good. What do you guys see here?
We're on GDP, correct?
This is odd. Australian dollar USD.
Okay.
I mean, I kind of don't see anything. I was just.
Yeah, this is definitely a confusing chart.
Yeah, and guys that are watching this, probably tomorrow if you guys are already sleeping, tonight, Sunday night, really not the best night to trade just because Sundays are known for trick days by retail traders. And Sundays, market makers are more likely to present trades that may look appealing to us, but in reality, they do the exact opposite. So Sundays, I tend to stick away from them. That's why, like I said, I like to stick to Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays. But again, if we do find something like the euro, I would definitely trade that. But this one, I think it's going to drop just because it did break this trend line just right here. I know it's
Yeah, I
not.
think AUD is going to drop.
Yeah, it's not the strongest trend line in the world, but combined with this trend line right here, look for the touch somewhere along the 0.73755 in about an hour or two. Actually, you know what? I think it's going to drop. I think it's going to drop at London session. So I'll keep you guys. Yeah. I'll keep you guys in contact with this trade. London session, I think is going to drop. Don't expect like a major 50 pip drop, but I think it's going to continue to drop right here. So that's odd. Let's go to CHF. Okay, CHF 15-minute. Very weak M. Doesn't even drop at all. But I do see something here. Let me see if it holds a little bit. Okay. I don't want to say this is a strong trend line, but I do see some pullbacks. So if this candle paints below, I would trade it, or I would trace it. I don't know why I keep getting my words mixed up. I would trace it. So what I mean by that is I would put a penny tester, and I would see if it continues to drop. And if it does, I would put in my real trade. So I don't know if you guys do that or not. I should kind of just do that. It might be silly to you, but I like to put a penny trader and see exactly where it goes. If it doesn't go the way that I want it to, that's okay. I lost a couple of cents. It doesn't hurt me. And I know that I wasn't a strong trend. But if it does continue to drop, in this case, then I would put in my real trade probably another 15-minute candle afterwards. Okay? So this is CHF, Swiss franc. Let me put this in here too. No, it's not gonna. Oh, wait. Zoom out a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's going to continue to drop right here. So watch for that. Oh, the candle just painted 15 minutes. So if this continues to drop, if you guys want to try that out, put down the penny, trace it, see if it goes down, and if it does, put down your real trades, okay? That's CHF. Let's see here, we already did on, let's do NZD. Zoom in. Okay, consolidation, obviously, not a lot of movement in the market. I'm just gonna mark up consolidation lines right here. Okay, let's see. Okay, I would call this at the London session as well, and it might be a little bit longer. And I don't really like to mark up my consolidation lines just because consolidation, it can literally do whatever the heck it wants. So even though I put this down here, it could break it and then pull back and then break it again and then pull back. It really wouldn't care. But if it follows this trend line and it breaks the resistance line, look for the rise and NZD USD. Okay, I don't really see, let's look at the 4 hour. Yeah, I don't really see much on the 4 hour. I could do this, but that breaks it. It's not good. And I could do this. That's not good at all. Yeah, I would just say if this continues to rise and if it breaks, I would definitely go long. I would definitely play long. I wouldn't trade that though. Not right now. Okay, let's see here. USD CAD 4 hour chart. Let's go back down to the 15-minute. And I think gold too was in consolidation too, if I'm not mistaken. Let me check gold really quick. Okay, gold was in consolidation. Let me mark this up really quick. It's not going to be profesh, but I just want to give you guys a quick update. And I do see something here. You know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. Okay, these trend lines aren't really that strong. There's not a lot of confirmation in those trend lines. But there's that though, which I would highly consider. Okay. Look for gold. I wouldn't trade it right now, but look for the continual slow rise following this trend line. That's not the strongest, but bear with me. And look for it to connect with this trend line right here because this is a much stronger one. And if it breaks this, I know for a fact it's going to rise 100%. But if it doesn't, look for the drop, but also look for the drop to hit either this trend line, so it's going to drop back down to here, or this support line right here, which is support at 11:15.44. Okay. But USD CAD. Last one, really quick. It's not going anywhere. Every single drop, it retraces. Every single rise, it retraces. Whenever I was going back for the past couple weeks.
GBP just hit a new high. Well,
GBP?
not a new high, but it like. Well, actually, yes, a new high if you.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, okay, so it just broke consolidation. That's a good eye, man. It just broke consolidation, so let's wait 9 minutes for the next candle to paint. And if it breaks this consolidation line after it paints, then I'll place a buy in GBP. And actually, I'll call that to the group tonight right now if it does paint.
It's falling on the 1 minute at least. 5 minutes falling.
Yeah,
15 minutes it is dropping hard.
Oh yeah,
Shooting
it just
star.
dropped big time.
It's going
You're
down.
going to see a lot, especially like towards the end of Asia. So before London session even starts, you're going to see a lot of this. You're going to see, oh, it's gonna break it. No, it pulls back. Oh, it's going to break it. No, it's going to pull back. Just again to trick retail treasury. So yeah, see, look, it followed all the way back inside consolidation. So I would wait until it actually paints and it breaks one way or the other, for sure. So Mike, yeah, I would wait until it breaks and to enter the trade. If it does, if you're comfortable, if you're confident enough, then place your actual trade. But if it's either a weak trend line, a weak support resistance, whatever the case may be, you can definitely just place a penny trade and follow it. See if it goes your way. If it does, then continue that with your actual trade. All right. But this, I think, is going to just continue into consolidation until London because it just dropped the entire way back down. All right, but that's pretty much it, guys. Oh wait, I didn't do CAD, did I? No, I didn't. Let's see here. Oh, that's a good support. Right there. Broke that. It's looking pretty bullish. It looks like it's going to continue to rise. Let me zoom out a little bit. And yeah, I think it's going to rise. You see this plateau? You see the second level? I think it's going to continue to rise to a third level. Yeah. But if it doesn't, guys, if it doesn't though, if it breaks this trend line, then look for this support line, 1.30773 for USD CAD. And I bet you if it does break, it's going to stop here. And then maybe shoot back up into consolidation for US, end of US to Asia session. All right, but my best guess right now is going to rise a little bit. Not a lot, just a little bit. It is Sunday though. So take all your trades with caution. Market makers tend not to be super nice today. So my favorite days out of the week, guys, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and Thursday night. Tuesday night is a great day to trade. Market makers love me. They follow my rules down to the T. I love it. Same with Thursday nights, dude. Thursday nights, man, they call me up and they say, hey, Mark, what do you want to do? I say, I just want to buy the euro. Okay, they do that. Oh, I want the gold to drop. They do that. And Wednesdays, they're pretty known to follow the rules too. So take your trades tonight with caution, but have fun. Stay safe. And, I mean, do you guys have any more questions, or do you want us to cut it off?
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good for right now, too. Thanks, Mark. I appreciate everything, man.
All right, guys. Sounds good, man. Let's do this again sometime. Loved it.
Definitely, man.
All right, guys. I'll post the recording in the Facebook group so everyone can see it who missed it tonight. And let's keep the group chat super active. All right. If you guys have any questions in there, post them in there. Don't send me a message. Just post it to the group. And if you guys have any prospects that want to learn, tell them to add me, message me. And guys, if you want to start calling out trades, y'all are more than welcome to, start building that experience, start building that knowledge of, hey, is GBP going to go up, looking at this trend line, hey, is this going to happen? That's what it's for, to brainstorm, to game plan with all of us. All right, so let's be as interactive as possible, all right?
Perfect.
Awesome, guys. Y'all have a great night. Stay classy. I'll see y'all very soon.
Peace.
Talk to you soon. Bye.